Hello everyone, welcome back. We're going to take a close-up look at the package that just arrived with all that awesome 1950s Avon production materials. It's follow-up to the part 3, all the reform schoolgirl and crime stuff that just showed up. I'm going to give everyone a close-up look at it all. We're going to go over it more in depth. You have to watch the last video if you have not seen my other videos. You need to see them about all of this 1950s Avon Comics stuff and 1958 IW Super stuff. And I describe it all in the other videos I've made. We're going to take a closer up look, so I'm going to get behind the camera and I'm going to show you what I just got. Alright, so starting off from here's a box. This was in the package. I didn't even notice. I kind of pushed off the side. It was folded down. I thought it was just packaging to help here until I looked at it better after the video. This is actually the box that all of this artwork and all the other artwork came in that I got from the seller. So you can see it has box 3. It had a letter N. They changed it to an A. It's got some water damage. But there's a comic book negatives for covers and titles. And N was changed to an A. And same as up here. Old comic books, negatives, covers, titles. So this here is actually the box that the seller got all of this Avon material in. So this is a box probably from the 50s. It's crazy. It's probably from IW Super back in 1958. Had all the Avon stuff stored inside this box. I didn't even really notice that. I kind of put that aside with the envelope and that when I was pulling everything out. When I looked at it afterwards, I couldn't believe it. I was like, that's really awesome. That's a pretty cool piece of history there. To have even just like this box that it came in. That's pretty cool. So moving on, we have some titles. These are all just proofs. Convict Killer, Jailbreaking Tigress. That is from Prison Break number 4 down here, the lettering. Nick Merrick, Shakedown Racketeer, Killer Bait. That is all from Murderous Gangsters number 3. We got Thrill Hungry and Realistic. Realistic is from Realistic Romances, the title. Thrill Hungry is here in number 6. We have Top Adventure Comics. Here's Top Adventure Comics number 1. It's the only comic that has that style logo on it. They changed the logo in number 2. Boy Detective number 1. Reverse negative printer's proof. And that's what the cover actually looked like. We have the Case of the Dark Hero. So here's the pulp. It's got something stuck to it there on the cover. Reverse negative. Case of the Dark Hero. And it was reused for the Saint number 12. Reused the same cover. Then we have Prison Riot. And if you notice here too, we're looking at the cover. Down at the bottom, Everett Raymond Kinsler, signed at the bottom underneath the guard being tied up on the ground. You can see there's titles missing here. There's the title, Prison Riot, right there. And again, there's the signature, and you can see it's below the line where they're cropping off the names, which is, I'll show you some more where they actually signed it. He signed it again in other places where it's being removed, but not on this one apparently. So here's the cover, Prison Riot. It's just a printed off copy. All these are just printed off. I've showed you. You can see down there, they took off the name. Here's the cover of Prison Break number 4. Reverse negative. There's what the cover actually looked like. We got Prison Break number 2 here. I am told this is Sid Check, not Wally Wood. It had been reported as Wally Wood earlier, it didn't change to Sid Check. Here we have Prison Break number 5. So here you can see the art's been changed. So on this reverse negative here, you can see the guard is below the box. The guard has been shot, killed. And you can see right down his whole arm there, the rifle. You see a railing. There's Everett Raymond Kinsler sign at the bottom. you go to this negative, now that guard is not below the box. He's now right in the exclamation mark. See, they took this, they added the Escape King, got added. It's just stapled on right here. The Escape King. So it's just loosely on there, the paper. And there, the name has been moved. You can see his name was in the railing at the bottom. They cut off the bottom, but he re-signed it in a higher spot up here. And that's how it was published. This name's on the cover there at the bottom. Then we have Murderous Gangsters #1. A nice cover. There's the reverse negative. Printer's proof. And neat looking at some of this stuff too. Like these proofs, you can see so much detail. Like look at just even like the ladder going up into fire escapes. See the officers up there with their guns. You kind of lose a lot of that with the cover. You can't even see the second officer's gun. You can't really see the other fire escapes. You can't see the ladder. And you see this one signed at the bottom here. Ames. Look on the comic. It's hard to tell if they cut it off or not. It might be right there at the bottom. So then, this is a neat one. So here we have proof and another one that's flipped. Now these were taken to Photoshop and made to be the printer's positives. So that's what it looks like. Better view of it. So this is pre-production that was edited and revised of Sensational Police Cases #3. So you can see it was reprinted in 1958 over here by Dynamic Comics. They changed the name to IW Super Comics, retitled it, and they flipped it. The girl's on the other side. It had been, the girl had been published before in here in Parole Breakers #3, and IW Super reprinted it sort of 1958 also. They changed it. You can see a lot of it has changed, but it's based on Parole Breakers. Same girl. And then funny enough, actually, inside the package also, I didn't show this to anyone in my last video, I had asked the seller if he had any photos of the other lots that I did not see that he sold over the last couple of years, and he was nice enough, he sent me printed out photos of all the lots that I did not get to see that he had sold earlier. And funny enough, what do I see right here? Kit Carson fights the Comanche Raiders, and there is the same girl. 1951 on a Western comic. Everett Raymond Kinsler, and then reused the same girl over and over and over again. And over and over. So just you can see some differences, because it is quite different between these two. It's better to look at the positive. It's easier to see. So you can see they have a third guy here on the left. That guy almost looks like a paste over to me. It looks like they have this guy shooting the Tommy gun at the police. You can see bullet holes over the top of the cops where he's missing. I think that police officer being shot at is in the background, and they put a paste over of a guy in a hat and trench coat, because he's really crowding up the Tommy gun. You can't really see that good. And it looks a little bit different. Like, it looks a bit cleaner. I don't know. I think it's a paste over. They decided, you know what? No, we're going to leave that. We're going to take that paste over out and still have the police officer there shooting at him. But they took out the girl, and they reused that Everett Raymond Kinsler girl that they've used several times. I don't know why they wouldn't have used this one. See, she's got smoking pistols in her hand. She was just shooting at the the police. You can see there's a ricochet coming off of the window frame there. That was removed when it was published. So the police are not hitting the window frame. You can see the top. All those windows were removed. And they put a blind up there that has some bullet holes in it. They changed that other window in the background with the brick wall. But it's got the same two police officers standing up there. Same guy with the machine gun. They just took away the paste over to have the police officer in the background shooting him. And they totally took out this girl. That's different. Being able to see stuff that was changed. That's kind of neat. Then we move on to the most exceptional pieces. These are pretty awesome. Oh, and also while looking at the stuff that the seller sent me, other photos of stuff that I had missed, I saw this. Space Mysteries. So that there is where the word space came from in my horror sci-fi lot, where I wasn't sure where that word space came from, and that is a 1958 IW Super Comic. So that's where the word space comes from. Just to follow up on that. Okay, so now we'll look at this. So this is fantastic. Astounding. I just put this in a card holder just so I can keep it together. All these letters are cut apart. The S has actually come off of the tape behind it. You can see all the slits between all the letters. And then even here, this is sliced up past the last letter. And there's white out along the edges. It is the original lettering. The original artwork lettering. It's all held together by a strip of tape. And I found out exactly what that astounding is from. And it is quite astounding. So what that is there was a series called Strange Worlds. So IW Super reprinted it. They retitled it Strange Planets. But that is a cover of an issue of Strange Worlds. And here's another cover of Strange Worlds. So this was Strange Worlds number 6. That's a Wally Wood cover. Sci-fi cover there. They retitled that one Eerie. But it was Strange Worlds number 6. And here they had the printer's proofs. Strange Worlds number 6. Same guy right there. And at the top of every issue of Strange Worlds was Avon logo, Astounding Super Science Fantasies. So right there is where the lettering Astounding comes from. The top of Strange Worlds. So that would have been probably from Strange Worlds number 1. And they would have just kept reusing that masthead on every issue, I believe, after number 1. So that'd be the original artwork lettering for Strange Worlds number 1. And then we have Justice. That is also original hand-drawn lettering. And you can see corrections. If you look real close, you can see pencil. See some corrections here and there. It was really well done for the most part. I can't find this lettering used anywhere. The closest I could find is Jesse James Brings Six Gun Justice to the West. So this is Jesse James Annual. This would have been a giant 100-page book, 25 cents. It would have been 3 remainder comics put together. And they would have tried to resell them. They would have taken the covers off a few books, put this cover over top of it, and tried to resell the unsold copies. But you can see it's totally different. I compare them right here. The lettering is totally different, but it is the only lettering I could find that has the word Justice, because it just wasn't really used in any Avon Comics or IW Super Comics, really, except this one. And the ends of the letters are very similar. Not the exact same, but very similar. It's the only lettering I could find that was similar, and that said Justice. So it's like they didn't go with this original lettering, they changed it, and they went with the revision when they published the comic. And then I found this. This was tucked inside the envelope. I don't know if the seller realized it. It fell out. I don't know, but this is from Chief Blackhawk. And you see the back. It's got glue on it. This was pasted up on this right here. Black Hawk Indian Tomahawk War in the top corner, Chief Black Hawk. So there is the original hand-drawn lettering that went with this comic, because I had gone back, I had seen they had sold it in a different lot. And this is kind of neat too. So they sold this original artwork, Everett Raymond Kinsler, and you can see changes that were made, because there was this paste over here came off the left side, and then this lettering came off underneath there. But you can see where the paste over came off. So there's Everett Raymond Kinsler. His name's there twice, so it's there and there, because it was here first, but then they used that paste over of the Indian fighting the guy, so then he had to move his name to the right of the Indian for it to show up. That's why he's got two names on there. But you can see before they put that on there, the paste over there, and then this is a paste over also of this Indian fighting this guy over here. You can see right there, it's pasted over. So imagine that these two Indians in the foreground fighting weren't there. What was originally there was just a whole bunch of cavalry shooting at the chief. The guy with the rifle, this guy's got pistols. That's neat to see before the revisions were made. And then finally we get to Reform School Girl. So there's a couple stories. Fast Company, I try to bury my past. There is the cover lettering, printer's proofs. Reform School Girl, they succumb to temptation. And there, of course, is the Avon paperback, Reform School Girl, that came out. And then the comic book with the same cover, Canadian Bad Girl. Marty. And then there's my Australian edition, House of Fury. So there it is. The original was House of Fury, of course, before they retitled to Reform School Girl. Lots of different covers. Fantastic. That was a very notoriously well-known comic that was vilified, the seduction of the innocent and whatnot back then. Anyway, that's it for me for now. Hope you enjoyed the video. Until next time, see ya.